I'm Dylan Ang in the Straits Times newsroom with this breaking news. After waiting all day to disembark, passengers on board Royal Caribbean's Quantum of Seas are beginning to leave the ship. The cruise was cut short overnight and returned to Singapore after an elderly passenger tested positive for COVID-19. Joining us from the ship is Straits Times travel correspondent Clara Locke. Clara, thanks for joining us. Now tell us, what's the situation on board right now for all passengers?
So on board right now, all of us are waiting to get the queue to disembark. We found out at about 6:45 from an announcement from the captain that we would be disembarking today. So that was a pleasant surprise, and it was pretty early on in the evening as well. So we've all received a circular in our rooms. So this tells us that we should pack our things and get ready to disembark. And between 7:30 to 9:30, one of the crew will come to our staterooms and let us know when we can start moving off the ship. And then we were also told that we will be doing the rapid antigen test tomorrow, and we're still waiting a little bit more information on that, like what time to report and what the procedures will be like. But I think at the moment, people are just glad and relieved that tonight they are going to be sleeping in their own beds.
Understand. Now, it's been a long day for you and all the passengers. Give us a bit of a recap. How has the day unfolded for you and how are you feeling right now?
So my day started really early. It started at 3. And that was when we first found out that the ship was going to be turning around and returning to Singapore. So the captain first made an announcement at about 2:45. And at that time, it was just a suspected COVID case, but we were told that we would be returning to Singapore at about 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, the captain came on air again and he shared with us that we had arrived alongside and that it was actually a confirmed COVID case, but that the passenger as well as their close contacts, crew and guests that had come into contact with the passenger had all been isolated and all had thankfully tested negative. So after that, the rest of us were just waiting to see when we would be allowed to debark and waiting on more information on the situation. So the captain gave us updates once every about 4 hours, and we finally got the call that we would be able to leave the ship at about 6:45 today.
So how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling excited to finally leave the ship?
I think when we are here, even though there's downtime and you can rest or you can take a nap, you're always in this limbo. So you're wondering what next and you're waiting for the next announcement. So I'm relieved that we'll be going home, regardless of how late, that when I go home and rest, it's really rest. It's not like, in 2 hours, what's going to happen again?
Now, Clara, now, of course, you're waiting for them to come and get you, but let's talk a bit about the safety precautions. What are the safety precautions that the crews will be taking before you disembark?
Before we disembark, crew have already gone round to take our temperatures, which they did when they handed out the circular that I received. We will also be handing over our tracelets, which is this blue Bluetooth wearable bracelet that we've been wearing throughout the trip, and we'll be returning that. But basically, during the duration of the cruise, this has been one of the tools that staff have used to do contact tracing together with the Trace Together app and tapping of our C Pass when we go into certain venues so that they can keep track of who goes where.
Well, thank you, Clara, for the updates and for speaking, of course, with us. Now, do stay safe. And that was, of course, the Straits Times travel correspondent, Clara Locke. You can keep up to date with this developing story at straitstimes.com. And do join us for a slightly later ST News Night at 10 p.m, where we'll have more updates. I'm Dylan Ang. Thanks for watching.